hopefully it'll resolve some conflicts for some of the board members. My name is Michael English. I'm the president of the THS board. The meeting format is hybrid. Quorum is physically present. Woohoo! At the Hart Administrative Offices at 1201 East 7th Avenue boardroom. The rest of the board members are participating via Zoom. And hello everyone who's attending by Zoom. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll call the meeting to order. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. The next item on our agenda is public input. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to be heard? Seeing none, I'd like to move to agenda item number 3, which is to welcome new and reappointed board members. Please join me in welcoming Council Member Gwendolyn Henderson as a newly appointed THS board, and we will look forward to seeing her at some time in the near future. She is representing Hart and congratulating Council Member Schisler and Hart Director Williams for their reappointment for another term. Welcome back. On behalf of the board, we're looking forward to your input and active involvement. We're happy to have you here. Any comments or questions from anyone? Thank you. The next item on our agenda, number 4, is approval of minutes. This is minutes from October 18th, 2023 and November 15th, 2023. Is there a motion to approve all sets of minutes?
Move to approve all sets of minutes as listed.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any additions, deletions, or corrections? Hearing none, staff will record the vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed, nay. The next item, number 5, is an action item, approval of the tri-party agreement between Hillsborough Transit Authority, Hart, Tampa Historic Streetcar, THS, and Friends of Ybor, FOY, for the lease and maintenance of the Bernie Streetcar 163. Is there anyone here representing? Aha, excellent. I don't see anyone representing FOY. Tyler Hudson is and Daryl Shaw.
Tyler's going to be here in a minute.
I beg your pardon?
Tyler's here.
Tyler,
There's no shortage of people that know Tyler,
your
right?
head was blocked, but now I can see you. So, Mr. Smoker, could you sort of lead us through this? You and Tyler, stay up there because I'm sure you'll have something to say.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Hey, Tyler, how you doing?
This particular action item involves a tri-party agreement. It's for the lease and maintenance of the historic.
I can't hear
I'm sorry.
Mr. Smoke.
Yeah, by way of overview, this tri-party agreement is for lease and maintenance of the historic Bernie Streetcar to FOY, and they will then be displaying it to promote and educate the public about the history of the Tampa streetcar system. By way of background, the Bernie Streetcar was donated to Hart in 2018 by the Tampa and Ybor City Street Railway Society, who restored the car to operational capacity. It was built in 1922 for the original system in Tampa. When the system was shut down, it was used as a structure, and the car is really only operational from the standpoint, or it's the only operational example of any of the original streetcar system in Florida. But due to its age and other factors, it cannot be used for revenue service. So it's in the best interest, we think, of all the parties involved to have the car displayed where it will educate the public about the history of the streetcars in Tampa. The agreement provides that FOY will, one, lease the Bernie for $1 per year, submit plans and specifications for the exhibition space within one of its buildings for THS and Hart approval, relocate the Bernie to the space at its expense, and exhibit the Bernie in an enclosed, well-ventilated area with supporting exhibit materials to promote and educate the public about the history of the streetcar, and undertake necessary cosmetic maintenance and repairs at its expense. The next steps are for the board to consider approval and execution of the tri-party agreement. It would then go to Hart and for their approval in December. The only obligation on the part of THS, we're really just a nominal party. Our obligation is to review and hopefully approve the agreement and then to execute it. Other than that, THS has no obligations under the agreement.
Thank you. Mr. Hudson?
Good afternoon. My name is Tyler Hudson. I'm counsel for Friends of Ybor. It's interesting to be on this side of the dais. Just a couple of notes on timing, because those are probably fair questions some of you might have. Right now, we don't know exactly where the Bernie would go, we being Friends of Ybor. In all likelihood, it's going to be exhibited somewhere within the Gasworks project that's located quite close to where we're standing right now. The way the agreement's set up is within a year of the execution date. So once the third of the three parties has signed that, there's going to be a 1-year clock that starts. And we have a year to get plans and specifications put together to bring back to Hart and to THS. The main issue we just need to confirm is really that we can ventilate it, keep it in a conditioned space, which we're confident we can do. It's probably going to go somewhere in the warehouse building adjacent to the roundabout. So we have a year to get you plans. Those are actually pretty on track already. And then within a year of the plans being approved, there's a 4-year clock to actually move the streetcar over. That I think it will be a lot less than that if it goes into a building that's, of course, already constructed. But that's generally how it's going to work. So Daryl had a conflict. He couldn't be here, but I know this means a lot to him and the Gasworks team to have this board's support. So happy to answer any questions.
Thank you so much. I'm really pleased about this. I have a lot of confidence in Mr. Shaw's vision and his ability to implement and execute. And I've been worried, and so have a lot of people that worked on this car to restore it originally, about its future. It's really not any longer able to take the strain of running regularly on the tracks. So do anyone else have any questions about this?
Mr. Chairman, Dave Mechanic, on the advice of Hart Counsel, I am going to abstain from voting. My law firm represents Mr. Shaw on a number of his corporations in the Ybor area, and out of an abundance of caution, I will abstain from voting.
Thank you, David. Any other comments? Oh, Gil,
I
yeah.
just had a quick question. Where's the vehicle now? Where's the car now?
It's downstairs.
Downstairs? Okay.
Yeah, you should take a look at it on your way out.
I will. Okay, thank you.
It's
I'm looking forward to the
beautifully
project.
restored, and I have full confidence in Mr. Shaw's organization that he will keep it that way and turn it into a museum-quality exhibit that really talks about the history of the streetcar system in Tampa, that talks about and shows how the people who started the Streetcar Society found that car and spent 12 or 13 years restoring it.
Wow.
Half of us raised money selling beer at Guavaween, and the other half actually did the work.
Looking forward
We
to
did the
seeing
damn
it.
thing, yeah.
Me too.
Okay, so is there a motion to approve Resolution R 2024-0101, approval of the tri-party agreement between Hart, THS, Friends of Ybor for the lease and maintenance of the
Move.
Verney Streetcar number 163?
Move to approve Resolution R 2024-01-01, approving the tri-party agreement.
Second, please.
We have a second and a third.
Oh, all in favor.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay.
Aye.
Thank you, Tyler. Thank Mr. Shaw. Okay.
And thank you for all your time and effort that everybody's put into bringing this to fruition. I had the lovely opportunity to meet the couple that started
Yeah.
the restoration, and I'm sure they're really ecstatic about this as well. So thank you.
I hope they're excited. You know, a lot of the people aren't around anymore, but it was really quite an interesting experience, and it turned out to get us a streetcar system, so that was the whole point to the car. Okay, let's move to the marketing service report. Frank?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. I'm Frank Wazinski, the Manager of Marketing Communications for Hart, and I'll be giving the reports for November and December. I'll start with December, and I'll work my way back. So in December, the big push was we had the volleyball national championships in town at Amalie Arena, and they had sold out. I think it was the largest attended indoor games in the national championships history. And so there's a lot of collateral that we created, including interior cards to welcome the guest. And so, we did some targeted social media ads targeted to the fans coming to town as well. The other thing that we also created some Streetcar Live collateral in December, and then some great stuff related to the new station sponsorships that we have. We started to update our collateral to reflect the new sponsors that we have on board in Tampa General and Hattricks. In New Year's Eve, we promoted streetcar service along with city officials. We promoted streetcar service, and we saw ridership of 6,000 for New Year's Eve, which was roughly 2,000 more than we did the previous year.
Wow.
And not to steal Brian's thunder, but we did 144,000 trips last month in December, which was great. We're at 355,000 overall in 3 months. So we've got three straight months of over 100,000 trips to start the year off. So
It's amazing.
yeah, especially when you think about free fares and service. That was a whole year. We would do 250 or something like that around there. So really, really great news there. The other big thing, we promoted streetcar service to, Winter Village, a lot of the holiday events, New Year's Eve, Amalie Arena events, etc. We had Americana folk jam duo Galbraith and Company for Streetcar Live. And then from the media side, we had some Streetcar Live stuff that was picked up, some stuff related to the volleyball tournament, some guides, how to get around Tampa and that kind of thing. And then some general Tampa stories. A couple of things that's not included in the report, but I did want to share too. We did have some recent film and photo shoots take place. So Aetna, the insurance company, has actually filmed a commercial with the streetcar involved in it. And then PBS is filming on Thursday a TV show called Joseph Rossando's Stepping Out. So streetcar staff is working to accommodate, maybe get some quick shots on board the streetcar and that kind of thing. Really exciting from the transit advertising side. I did mention the station sponsorships. I've mentioned a couple. We brought on TJH and Hattricks. The Florida Aquarium is now signed on board as well.
Wow.
And so we've ended the calendar year of 2023 with $224,020.50 in advertising revenue, which I believe is the most that's been generated for the streetcar since we started the program roughly about 10 years ago. So the Florida Aquarium will come on for $30,000 a year. We're going to get $10,000 in trade, so aquarium tickets that we can use for promotions and that kind of thing.
That's great.
And it just helps develop those community partnerships that we've talked about and bring our partners along the line on board. And the other thing that's great about this too is now that we have 3 of these stations sponsored. We're going to increase the base rate from 30,000 to 50,000. So now we still have Amalie Arena Station, which is one of our busiest stations still out there. And we have Central Ybor still available. So those are 2 heavily trafficked stations that still haven't been sold yet. So I'm pretty excited to see where we can even, take this program further. So aside from that, we also had, I'll do November as well. In November, the main thing was the Winter Village kicked off. I know we're a little delayed because of the months, but Winter Village kicked off, and so we had some promotional material regarding the Winter Village, Streetcar Live as well, and then promoted events to downtown events, comedians, etc. there. And then as far as media, it was mostly regarding the Winter Village and Holiday Express and all that. So that's the report.
That's a heck of a report.
Yeah, the advertising program, we especially keeps kicking up, and like I said, we're starting to get more of a structure regarding it, and they're really the Vector Media is really killing it right now.
That's
So.
excellent. Any questions? Yes.
I do have one question, and it may be better suited for the partnership, but I was just curious, for the Winter Village Express, were those generally full?
Yeah, so actually we ended up selling out every trip. Yeah, they sold out every trip. Yeah, I tried to get on board with my kid, and it wasn't gonna happen. So I was like, come on. So, but
That's great news. Did you have any negative feedback or anything from regular riders that couldn't get on because of the fare?
No, not that, I mean, Brian, is that a special car, or is that? Yeah,
Yeah, we didn't use that in regular service, so.
Okay, wonderful.
yeah.
We will make sure that you and your son have a ride next
Well,
time.
really, it's on me, right? Like, I didn't think it was gonna, I thought I'd have a chance, but, it is what it is. So, thank
We
you.
have reached Polar Express in Bradenton status.
Thank you very much. Streetcar system report, Mr. Allen.
Good afternoon, President English, members of the board, Mr. Drainville. I have both November and December's. I'll start with November. We had, of the 4,270 trips we were scheduled to do, we had 23 and a half missed trips. The missed trips were caused, 12 and a half trips were because of mechanical issues, and 11 trips were caused by accidents. On-time performance for November was 99.62%.
Wow.
We had 4 accidents in November. On the 10th, at the intersection of Water and Morgan, we hit a car. On the 19th, we hit a car there at Sparkman's Wharf. On the 25th, we split the Garrison switch because there was debris in the switch, not allowing the switch point to close properly. And it was technically a derailment, even though the car didn't actually leave the rails. And then on the 26th, we hit a vehicle at Adamo Drive. All of the 3 accidents, the vehicle drivers were all cited in those accidents. For November, we didn't provide any additional service. We ran the Winter Village using our 5th car on Sundays, so there was no cost to us for that. And ridership for November was 102,202, which is a great number. Also a great number, of those 136 were ADA boardings. And then for December, we were scheduled for 4,508 trips. We had 26.75 missed trips. These were caused by a shortage of operators, mechanical issues, some accidents I'll get to in a second here, and the CSX interlocking blocked us for a couple trips during that month.
Really?
So that was kind of unusual for us. On-time performance was 99.48%. And we had 3 accidents and 1 incident. On the 2nd, we struck a car at Waters and Morgan again, which was very unusual. We rarely hit cars there, and we hit them back to back. So, on the 12th, a student motorman split the switch up here by Kadrisha. That was an incident. That wasn't an accident. On the 14th, at Franklin and Channelside, we hit a vehicle, and then we hit one at 18th and 8th Avenue here in Ybor. Once again, all 3 of those accidents, the drivers were cited for most of them were failure to yield.
Interesting.
We also had a car in the interlock on New Year's Eve, but it was after service had technically stopped, so that didn't affect any service.
Good.
Frank had mentioned our ridership, which was incredible for December. We were busy every day, and of those, 121 were ADA boardings. And then as far as infrastructure goes, I have 2 open motorman positions. That's the least we've ever had open,
Good.
which is very good. And last week, as part of a project, we had a contractor in who raised all the sunken panels at Dick Greco Plaza to eliminate any tripping hazards before Gasparilla.
Excellent.
So that's my report. Does anybody have any questions?
I do.
Please.
It is practically unheard of lately that we have motormen at fault during an accident or incident. It sounds like it's been quite a few extra this time around. Any theories on why, and is there any kind of course of action for those involved in an accident to go through additional training or anything of the such?
Well, whenever one of our motormen is in an accident, there's an accident review they go through.
Okay.
And part of that review is, did they do anything? Most of the time, they're non-preventables for us because, you're on the fixed guideway. But And then we do recertification of the motormen, so they get a check ride from our trainers once a year also. And that during COVID, it was a little tough to do that, but now that we're back on track, the training department's doing a great job with them.
I've really enjoyed meeting quite a few of the new motormen. They have great personalities. They seem to engage the audience on the streetcar, and
Nice.
it's been enjoyable. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, please, Cal.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but we graduated 2 new motormen this month, isn't that
Three.
correct? 3, okay, good. So we have 3 new drivers out there. Great.
So you're expecting, oh, please, go ahead.
I was just going to commend the monument. I was driving as the streetcar was driving parallel, and I saw a car turn over in the right of way, and they were blowing the horn, and I said, this is exactly what they are referring to. And as they're trying to drive, and things like that happen. So I have to commend the fact that they're trying to be safe as much as possible, as well as get people where they need to go, and as well as pick and stop at the stops and so forth. So I just, with everything that's going on, the holidays and the extra activities and the additional riders and so forth, I just want to commend the work that the motormen are doing to get people where they need to go, as well as do it as safe as possible. So just good work to the team for the year. Thank you.
Yeah, most of that goes to our COIs, we call them, which are our motormen who are instructors, who do the on-the-job training. They're an excellent group of people, and safety, everything you talked about is paramount with them. So they're responsible for the quality we get.
So you expecting an insane weekend this weekend?
Yeah, probably. The weather's gonna be good, it's gonna be,
Yeah.
and there's 3 ships in the port that day too, so it's gonna be,
Oh, you're gonna be busy, busy,
You got
busy.
it all.
Well, good luck with everything. Thank you, Brian.
thank you.
All right. Legal and legislative reports, Mr. Smoker.
Mr. President, I have nothing to report.
But you will in a second. Chair's report. CSX Insurance, Grant, you might want to come forward. Grant Mielek and David, you might want to introduce this for us, please.
Be happy to. Grant Mielek has served as our agent, insurance agent, especially in dealing with the CSX policy, which we have to annually renew, and which is one of the biggest expenditures, if not the biggest expenditure that THS incurs in any given year. We have been striving, with Grant's help, to try to reduce the amount of coverage that CSX is requiring of us. At one point, it was $300 million, then it was $100 million, then it was $75 million, thanks to Grant's connections with CSX. And I think that Grant will be able to tell you that he's been successful in getting that coverage amount limited even further. And he has also, I think, is going to be able to bring in the CSX policy at considerably less dollar amount than what we experienced last year. So, Grant?
Thank you, Mr. Smoker. Thank you, President English. Just to keep this short and sweet, a few things to really update you about. We have been successful in getting CSX to drop the limits of liability to $50 million. That was a massive win for THS, Hart, and the city of Tampa. In conjunction with that, we've also been able to really negotiate incredible terms. I don't want to give you all the final number right now because that's still in flux. What I can tell you is that number is going down. So worst case scenario we're looking at is $430,000. And from what I just read 10 minutes ago before coming in here, there's going to be an option called a tax harvesting option to get that premium even lower.
Excellent. David?
Yeah, and the tax harvesting option, the state of Florida imposes an excise tax on insurance premiums, a fairly sizable one, but our understanding is that if you're a not-for-profit, you can recapture that. So at the end of the day, if all goes as planned, the total out-of-pocket for THS in the city will be significantly less than the $430,000.
That's great. I want to apologize to Lena and Danielle. You all have been diligent in trying to pin us down on a resolution, and really, this grants negotiation goes on and on to the end, and we weren't sure what to do. So today, what I'd like to do is have a motion to allow David and I to complete this after meeting with the city. But I would like you to approve a year of CSX insurance for no more than $430,000, and execute that, and then if you need a resolution, we can do it next month.
Sure.
Mr. Mielek has really worked this hard this year, and he's come up with all kinds of interesting options, which I think at this time we don't want to pursue, but we may well in the future for things that would make it easier for the city to handle their budget and ours. So, again, I apologize that we weren't quite ready, but that's where we are. Basically, Grant got the CSX people to drop the liability limit another $25 million, which is amazing. And so we're looking at an insurance policy that is less than half of what it was last year.
What did we budget? Do you have I don't have the budget book with me. Do we? I don't see Justin. I don't know what we. Pardon me?
So what's the question, Gil?
Well, what did we budget for this year for insurance?
Well, this past year, we
Yeah.
paid almost $1 million.
No. I mean for the current, the budget cycle we're in now. Do we?
We budgeted $650. Your budget people aren't here, but
Well, Ms. Kirk's here.
Yeah. If I can answer that, Mr. Drayville and Mr. English, we budgeted $600,000 in CSX insurance.
600,000?
Well,
That's what you estimated? Okay.
If that's in the budget, then we
That's
don't
what's
really
in
need
the
a
budget.
resolution. I don't think that we need a resolution then to just do what you're going to do, and then bring it back for the final,
If lawyers don't care, I'm fine with that.
You got a budget of 600,000.
I'm very impressed. I'm impressed at what Grant did.
Yeah. No,
And I'm
it's a good job.
impressed that,
Very good.
and the city's going to be delighted because they pay this.
Yeah.
And they weren't happy last year, and they're going to be much happier this year. And so I think that's where we are.
Well, first of all, I think lawyers always care, but in this,
Sorry?
I think lawyers always care, but I think in this situation, I think, I don't know that we really need a resolution.
Yeah,
I think
I
that
agree.
this is essentially an executive act that I believe
Okay.
the president is authorized to take.
If it
All
was
right.
over the budget, I'd say,
I
yeah.
think ultimately you need a budget amendment.
What, Dave?
I think you need a budget amendment. The fact that it's less doesn't mean you don't have to recognize that officially, but it can be done after the fact because you
That's
don't
fine.
have a final number anyway.
Sure. No, absolutely. All right, so would someone like to make a motion?
I have one more
I'll
comment to
move
make.
that.
Yeah.
My one last comment to make would be, very appreciative of everyone's continued efforts, and I hope the city also recognizes those efforts and maybe bodes well for us as we consider a rubber wheel extension up to Palm Avenue,
Yeah,
and where we need some funds dedicated towards the future and the goal setting
yeah,
for
absolutely.
the streetcar. Thank you.
So, a motion, please?
I don't know what we're moving. I don't know what we're moving. We're within the budget, we're within our budget, and you have the authority to, as administratively, to seek the.
Yeah,
and then
I
we'll,
think-
after the fact, we'll do a budget amendment when necessary.
What I would suggest for the record, just so that it's clear, would be a motion to authorize the president
To act on
to
it.
continue coordinating with Grant to negotiate the best possible price for the CSX policy not to exceed $430,000.
So moved.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. Mr. Mueller, thank you so much. We'll be back in touch soon.
Great. Thank you, President English, and thank you, Board of Directors.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, our next step, by the way, will be to meet with Vic Bede and the budget director at the city, and I'm looking forward to that meeting much more than I was last year.
I don't know whether there's a physical problem, but the presenters are not showing up on the screen when they're presenting.
I can't fix that.
Well, I mean, I saw like part of Tyler Hudson's head, so I'm assuming he's not standing in front of the camera, but,
He
you know.
was. Okay. Thanks, Dave. Okay, that concludes the chair's report. Let's move to Hart CEO's report. Mr. Drainville?
And again, good afternoon, President English, board members. I'll start off with the streetcar rehab project. The Hart Board of Directors will be reviewing a contract award to Gameco Trolley for streetcar midlife rehab.
Sorry.
It's a tongue twister. Rehabilitation services, thank you. The Gameco Trolley Company will perform a complete overhaul up to 5 replica trolleys. The overhaul work will result in a 25-year revenue service life. Moving on to, on Tuesday, January 16, 2024, I traveled to Tallahassee for the third time since commencement of the state legislative committee meetings to continue to seek support from the legislators in the governor's office for funding the heavy maintenance facility, either through a local appropriations request using non-reoccurring general resolution or by utilizing a portion of the surtax dollars for the project. For the streetcar extension, Hart is submitting its annual Transportation Improvement Program, or TIP priority list for the TPO's FY 2029 projects. The TICO streetcar line extension remains on the Hart priority list. Back in 2023, we reported that the streetcar will be featured in the Tampa edition of Monopoly. They are taking pre-orders, and staff will be ordering a few items for future giveaways. For a construction update, a contractor was on site last week to raise all sunken concrete panels at the Dick Greco Plaza to eliminate tripping hazards. The contractor raised 19 spots where they were low around the plaza. And FDOT is on site this week, today and tomorrow, with their safety oversight visit, and we will report on the outcome for the next meeting. And then lastly, I just wanted to comment on the Hart staff continues discussions regarding the rubber tire circulator with the City Director of Mobility, Vic Bide. We are proceeding to include it in the TPO priority list and looking to identify matching capital and operating funds. We have not established a timeline for this implementation, but we'll likely have that conversation with the mayor with my meeting with her this week. So that concludes my report.
Thank you so much. Interesting. The almost last thing on our agenda is compliance report. The Tampa financial statements are in your package for the months of August 2023. I don't understand this statement, but the Tampa auditors are working on it. They'll be submitted to the THS board for final approval this spring. Is there any old business? Is there any new business?
Just one thing.
Yes, Cal.
So I don't know if Mr. Mechanic's still on, but I did want to congratulate him. I don't know if y'all saw his son and his son's wife, his daughter-in-law, were nominated for not only a Golden Globe, but also an Oscar.
For an Oscar?
Oh, wow.
For Best Original Screenplay.
Yeah. And the
for,
name of the movie is?
May, December.
May, December, if you haven't seen it.
Okay.
It's available on either Netflix or Amazon Prime. Two
It's Netflix.
in Netflix, two big-time
Yeah,
TV stars.
thank you very much.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Very cool, David.
Yeah, so next
Thank
meeting, he'll come with sunglasses on. Hollywood Dave.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's great, I love it. Okay, that concludes our business for today. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
Hey, Scott, I don't know what this thing is, but it blocked my screen for the whole meeting.
It happens to me too, you just gotta do
Yeah, thanks.
First time I had it anyway.
Hi, Ms. Loretta, this is Gwen, just saying hi.
Good, man. How you doing?